Hey, well, hello, everybody.
Hello, and welcome to WTM. Yeah,
Yeah.
WTM, baby. We talk marinara. Yeah, on today's
All
episode.
things marinara.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the versatility of one of the greatest sauces of all time. Marinara is amazing.
It really is. Yeah, truly. Have you ever dipped French fries in marinara?
No.
It's pretty good.
Wow,
It's pretty good.
I am this age and I've not tried that. I have to try
I'm
that.
not a ketchup person. I'm not like a condiments person. That might not be surprising. But marinara, that's a good.
Ooh,
That's a
God,
good
I love
stuff.
me some marinara.
Yeah.
And you really played along with that well. Nice
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah,
I
you're
tried.
good. You are good. You're a great team player.
Thank you.
WTM.
Yes, and.
What the Muppet?
Welcome, Muppet.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Is this 53?
Ooh, I think it is 53.
I think
I meant to
so.
check that before, and
That's-
yep, it is 53.
How wild. Here we are. 53 episodes later.
Yeah, we're old vets at this now.
Oh, yeah.
We've been doing this
Back
a
in my
while.
day a year ago.
I remember a year ago, back in our day,
we
when
were downstairs.
boy, those days. You remember that downstairs? Oh, we moving on up. We're up here. We're on the
Moved on
upstairs
up.
now. Not that the audience can
Okay.
necessarily
No.
tell. But it is fun to be back at this and everything. We
Yeah.
usually have a little bit of a breather in between these episodes, and it's always good to see you. Be back
Yeah.
with all of our What the Muppet family and
Yes.
hang out and get some fun and
Yeah, talk movies, talk Muppets.
Mhm.
It's all good stuff.
yeah. I do want to quickly thank our audience and our friends out there for the great feedback that I think we've both gotten
Yeah.
for this second season. People have really been enjoying the movie element,
Yeah.
and that's been fun.
It's been so much fun to receive that feedback because when we came up with the idea, we were really excited about it because we love movies, but it means something when we're excited about it because then we're going to bring that to the episode,
Mhm.
but it truly means like the extra mile, like
Yeah.
you guys like it because that's why we want to make it.
Yeah. This has really become one of the things that I think is so is cool about being a creative and whatever element you work in and everything is you get, at least for me, you get to a stage where you have an idea and you put it to your team or you put it to your partner and everything in this or something, and you like the idea, and then that person puts their fingerprints on it, and you talk about it and you tinker with it, and before you know it, like, who even came up with this? Like,
Yeah.
it's everybody's
It's a
idea.
collaboration.
This podcast has really been that, where we get together, we think we have a fun idea, and let's do a podcast about Muppets and putting them in improv
Right.
situations.
Who will listen to it? We don't know, but let's
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, and while it is something we feel very closely to, and it is very personal to us, it's become bigger than us, and it's
Yeah.
everybody's now. It's not just our show. It's really yours
and
too.
I love that.
Yeah,
So
it's,
much.
it's
It's very Jim Henson-esque.
yeah, it is. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, and that is very that creativity, that process is very very Henson.
Yes.
Yeah.
All hands on deck.
And
Yeah.
everybody has a name, Henson, from what I've read and what what we saw in the documentary and everything, definitely one of those people that lowered the ladder. You know, like he didn't just rise up and it was just him up there. He made sure that the
He
ladder
had a
went
hand
down.
out all the time. Yeah.
Made sure that he brought other people up with him that would put other people in conversations that might not have been otherwise,
Yeah.
and made sure to have people getting credit for things. And I always thought that was pretty cool.
Love
to him.
that. Yeah. Oh, Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Guy, we're the reason we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, our friend Jim. I think we just talked about this. I pull this.
You pulled this
I
time,
pull
yeah,
first this
yeah.
time. Okay. Yeah.
It's okay. I didn't remember than you did, and now this time I
Yeah.
remembered it. So
There
we're
we go.
even. We're even.
Collaboration all over again.
J-Mark.
So I will pull our movie for this
Ooh.
episode. Oh my. Oh, the anticipation.
Now
What
that
could
we're
it
here,
be?
I'm like, oh.
I know. Oh, we got a classic on our hands. Forrest Gump.
Oh, wow.
Forrest Gump starring
Wow.
Tom Hanks.
Great one.
Oh my
Great
gosh.
choice.
Yes, absolutely. What are your thoughts on Forrest Gump, 1994, directed by Robert
Zemeckis.
Zemeckis? Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, one of our better directors.
Yeah.
This is so odd. It wasn't but 3 days ago I was talking about this movie.
Really?
Yeah, and I had probably not talked about it in quite some time. Saw this in the theater with my best friend.
I was going to ask you if you saw this in the theater. That's so cool.
I saw it there. It had been out for a week, and there was a lot of hype to it. And Chris and I, back then we went to movies all the time and everything. And I think like I don't have this right timeline wise, but I think we went to Dumb and Dumber, and then like shortly after went to Forrest Gump, or it might have been the other way around. But I remember us joking about how weird it was, like the different movies we went to. This movie, part of the reason I was talking about it, I was talking about it with other actors, and what this movie did, how it changed Philadelphia. Tom Hanks does a great job, and he gets an Oscar for it. But I don't know that people necessarily still took him that serious. It was one performance, and it was one serious role to most people that are paying attention, or paying attention to the above the curtain kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks had done Punchline, had done a serious role before that, but I think that was where all of a sudden your layman noticed, oh, Tom Hanks can act. He's not just a comedic actor, Turner and Hooch or Joe versus the Volcano or something. His career was kind of on a trajectory. Philadelphia started to change it. Forrest Gump completely set it in a different direction, where you could not deny anymore, he just won back-to-back Best Leading Man Oscars. Yeah. Like, that isn't heard of. Like, that doesn't happen very often.
How much that has happened?
Off the top of my head, maybe 3, maybe 4 times. Especially back in the day, they used to do it a little bit more. And Daniel Day-Lewis, I think, did it once. But you just didn't hear of those kind of things. Let alone with a guy who was not a thespian, according to other people and stuff. I think a lot of us that pay attention to him understood that he was right away.
Yeah.
Even in, God, I know how silly this is going to sound to people, but there's a scene or two in Splash where he's just so sad and so down-run, and there's moments where you can see that he's got a different layer to it. He's got another level to him if he gets the opportunity, and man, did he. From that point on, Tom Hanks is not looked at as the silly comedic guy anymore. He's one of our upper echelon actors with respect, and he starts doing, he directs That Thing You Do, starts doing the Band of Brothers movies, and a lot of military movies, a lot of movies for our soldiers. Completely different projection. And the way that people look at him now, and even some generations that grew up with just a serious Tom Hanks, it's completely different. There was also something that I'd found out recently, that, again, why this came up, the movie, that I found beautifully fascinating. So they really, Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis really believed in this movie. The studio did not. The studio gave them a budget, and every studio gives you a budget, and then if you're Robert Zemeckis, you're a well-known director or something, you're going to get a couple more bucks here. Like, I got more bucks, huh? We got this great wind chime we want to get. Like, all right, come on, here's some bucks. They were like, no, they're done. They're not giving you another penny. So Tom Hanks and Robert Zemeckis put their own money into certain scenes.
I think I did hear about this. Yeah, is that one of the facts?
Oh, is it? Oh, no, I don't
no,
it
it's
is
not.
the fact.
I think it's a fact I read on IMDb, but I didn't put it in here. Yeah.
So there's at least one scene that I know of, because I know one of them was the running scene, where I think he's running from the house.
Okay.
He's first getting out on the run. And so that scene, I believe that they filmed just those two with their own money.
Wow.
And that was, and I believe if I read it right, like $8,000 like they put into this of their own money, which they're Hollywood actor, Hollywood people. It's not that much.
Still.
It's still a lot of money. And again, this is Tom Hanks before he's he's a household name, but not like this. And he has comedians' money. He has he has an actor's money.
Totally different. Yeah.
Very different world. And that's really, you talk about betting on yourself.
Yeah.
And if you look at, this is one of those times to me where usually what happens is, we got this great idea on paper. And then when we bring it out into real world and the real people acting around like, oh no, this is not.
How's it gonna do?
This is one of those situations where on paper it looks a little ridiculous. It looks a little silly. Like, how are you gonna pull this off? There's like, he's showing up with Elvis and things. Like, I mean, come on, that's not very believable. You lose in writing the transition of the imagination and the fun of just jumping in and
just like the story making of this movie.
And a good storyteller, a good director, any of these things can pull you in to where you're not thinking about reality as much, and you're a little more looser to like, that could happen, sure. Yeah, why not? Good sci-fi does this all the time. It is not as if any of us have ever been to other worlds or any of these things.
Yeah.
But if it's a good story,
you fall into it.
Yeah, you let yourself. I think it's a mutual thing of the good storytelling, good directing, acting, and all that. and the viewer being willing to be like, it's a little like hypnotism. They say all the time that if you're not willing to be hypnotized, you can't be hypnotized. Yeah, you got to give in a little bit.
Yeah, I think the movie has to pull a lot of that too.
Yes.
This was based off of a book, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought,
I've never read it, but
I didn't either. And I think it is. I think you're right. Yeah,
I think. Well, the tagline for this movie is "The Story of a Lifetime," which is so perfect.
That is good.
So perfect. I love that.
That's good.
This was so I had a really cool VHS system going on in my childhood bedroom.
Of course.
Yeah,
My
built-in VCR into this little TV, and then I had a gizmo that would rewind tapes, a separate thing.
Yeah.
I had a few tapes that were unhealthily on rotation, and this was one of them.
Wow.
So it was a really weird combo, but it was this movie, Tommy Boy.
Yes.
What was the other? The Truman Show.
Oh yeah.
And there was one more. One summer it was Grease. My sister and I would watch Grease and Pocahontas back to back. It was actually
hilarious.
a good palette. Yeah. So this movie I have seen too many times, but I really love it.
My sister, who is celebrating a birthday the day we're filming this, actually. So
I
happy
didn't know it was
birthday,
her
Jillian!
birthday.
Yeah.
I'll message her.
You please. Oh, she'll love that.
Yeah.
That'll make her day. She's in Maine right now, actually. She's hanging
That's
out.
fun.
Yeah. They're on a real
Lucky
trip.
duck.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But her and my cousin Lisa, who just celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, and a shout out to Lisa. They had a summer where there was a VHS tape we had that had Dirty Dancing and Grease on it, and they just watched those movies back to back to back to back. Oh my God. I don't hate those movies, but there is a little bit of a twitch that I get when I think of them sometimes.
That's understandable.
First, I actually miss this part of things. I'm sure there's a modern version of it for kids, but I'm so happy to hear you at your age still got some VHS life and went through some of that.
Totally.
The rewatching, how easy it was to kind of rewind, put it back in.
Yes.
Oh, the fun of that.
Yeah.
And the pause of waiting for it to finish rewinding and everything.
I miss that white noise of the VCR machine playing too underneath the movie soundtrack.
Yes. I was thinking about this the other day. We were talking about vinyl on the air, and I was thinking how much I miss just the setting of the needle on the record, even before the song begins to that staticky noise. So it's such a cool noise.
Love it.
Yeah.
The last time I was in contact with a VCR, which is a wild sentence I didn't think I was going to formulate today.
Yeah, it's an interesting way you put it.
Matt and I were on a little weekend getaway trip, maybe a year and a half ago. What is time? I don't know.
Flat circle.
Over a year ago, yeah. And we went to this little cabin, and it's at the highest point in Wisconsin, Timms Hill. And it's a very, there's nothing really around this area. So we went just as a little retreat to hang out and just chill out and read. So we went into the nearest town, and there's not really a lot going on in that town, but we popped into the library. And at the front of the library, there was a free box. So we just dug our little mitts in there and see what's in there. And there was a VHS tape, and there's a VHS player in our cabin because it was an old cabin.
Oh.
And it was this probably C-rated kung fu movie that was not dubbed.
Oh wow!
No subtitles.
Even better.
So we snagged it.
Nice.
And we started watching it, and we were trying to guess what was going on and happening. Yeah, it was very interesting. We didn't finish it, but we left it in the cabin. There was a little bin with VHS tapes, so we left it there.
Awesome.
Maybe somebody else will watch
Somebody's
it.
going to find that. There's all these classic movies, and then they see that. That's awesome. That's such a good way of it's kind of like a paying it forward sort of thing in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
There were some other movies in there, and we picked a Jack Nicholson one because it looked like the most mundane one, and that was the kind of mood we were in. I don't remember what it was called, but it was we did not enjoy it though. We didn't understand the movie. We were what's going on? This is crazy. There's no plot.
It's
I don't know.
it's weird when you watch a movie that's English and you understood that one less than the one that was.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It was so weird. It was like Jack. Maybe if I explain it, you might know what it is.
I've seen most everything he's done. So
That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
So he was married to a woman, and they didn't seem like they had a very good marriage. Didn't really seem like they liked each other that much. She passes away, and then he retires from work, and he's kind of left with like, huh, what am I doing with my life? And he goes on a road trip, and then he just does like these really, I don't know, he just does these really weird things. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I thought I knew it, and then as you started to describe it, I'm not
Maybe
sure.
you blacked it out because it didn't make
It might
any
have been
sense.
one of those things, yeah. Because one of those actors I really back. I really enjoy. I'm a big fan
Oh
of
yeah,
Mr.
like
Nicholson.
he's very
But
talented, but
has had some role. He's never done a bad job necessarily, but he's chosen movies at times that aren't necessarily the greatest too.
choice.
Yeah.
And every actor, I'm sure, has a
Oh,
movie
yeah.
where they're like, ooh.
Yeah. That's part of signing up as an actor,
Yep.
I think. But that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
a good show. That's fun.
Well, speaking of fun, let's move to fun movie facts. So the one for Forrest Gump is when Forrest first learns to play ping pong in the infirmary, he is told the trick is to keep his eye on the ball at all times by another soldier. After that moment, whenever he is shown playing ping pong, he never blinks. That was pretty cool.
It's so
I wonder
cool.
if he learned that from Michael Caine.
Yeah, nicely done. Nice callback.
But I love that method acting just sprinkled in there because he didn't like have to do that. But that's so Forrest Gump to be like,
Yes.
okay, like I can't blink.
So literal and
Yeah.
it's the essence of the character, and it's part of why again Tom Hanks is as good as he is.
The master.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've
truly.
told the story about Saving Private Ryan and him and
Woo.
that crew, and the prep that he did to kind of get people in that mindset and everything. I think whether he's intended to or not, he is part of that new age of method act where you're method acting. You're really trying to get into these characters' skin and mind and soul and be these people while also. All right, realistically, there's only so far that can go,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to go crazy with this, or I'm not
Right,
going to be
yeah.
this person when the camera's not rolling, or those kind of things that I really feel like it stops being acting and you're almost playing pretend.
Yeah.
Where acting is playing pretend.
It is, yeah.
It is, but when you have a certain balance to it, you're doing the fun kid aspect of, cowboys and robbers and things like that and stuff,
Yeah.
while also with an adult approach to make it believable for the audience.
Right.
If
yeah.
you're approaching it as a way too serious and way too where you're never breaking character and all these things,
Almost like crosses a line.
absolutely,
Yeah.
I think it does, and I think it becomes more of I don't even think you're acting anymore. You believe you're this person, and that's more of I don't know that that's acting as much as it is just kind of like to me it's almost cheating. It's almost like kind of like that's completely different.
Yeah, maybe like a weird ego thing going
I
on
think
as
there's
well.
a lot of that too. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that has a lot.
You
It
have to have like
seems
some ego when you're an actor, of course.
Definitely,
Because you need
definitely.
confidence and stuff.
almost anybody in any job has to have some
yeah,
ego to
definitely.
what they're doing, and that's something I've had to learn, and I'm trying to train myself into a little bit more and more. But
Yeah.
there's a big difference of ego and narcissism.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, totally.
And that it tends to be the actors that really take that method acting too far, and I think give it a bad name in many ways. They always seem to be narcissists. It just always seems to be.
Yeah.
Not every one I'm saying, but it does seem to be that way.
I think one of the actors that is just so notorious for extreme method acting is Kevin Costner.
Yeah, and that is I didn't see that coming.
Oh, I just wanted to get us on a silly track.
Thank you. Needed that. Thank you.
I'm a
Nicely
silly
done.
goose.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Ooh, that was
Every
good.
time I see him on the commercial for that Western or whatever he's in now, I think of that sound bite that
Boy,
you don't like him.
He needs that right now because that last movie there's one of those situations where he put a lot of money into that movie and more
Ooh.
good on him for doing it and everything,
Yeah.
but it blew up in his face, and this is one of those ones
Really?
where
What's the tea? What happened?
when the movie that he did, the Horizon movie, he put a lot of time and money into this, and he the company really wanted him to just kind of figure out, it's a 2-3-parter or whatever, and okay, make it one or make it a TV series, a lot of these things, and he was adamant about, no, it's going to be a great American Western, it's got to be in theaters, and he put a lot of money and time into it, but he also held the studio kind of held their hands, like they weren't able to do certain things to promote the movie and everything. And even in promoting the movie, it's awfully hard if you're Martin Scorsese to get people to a 3-hour movie right now.
Yeah. Attention spans are so low.
It didn't do well. They had to pull it from theaters like within the first week.
Wow.
Nationally, pulled it within 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And now there's a lot of talk about them doing the second movie just straight to video or straight to download, streaming, which that just kills any box office. Obviously, any box office numbers you're going to get or anything like that.
Oh wow.
And he is really pushing for them to no, we got to release it in theaters. This is a lot of his ego. This is a lot of his narcissism.
Sounds like it, yeah.
This is the thing that I continue to come back to on him, where he just shoots himself in the foot, and he can have a good career going, and his ego just ruins it. Or he has a good TV show going and has this second life with Yellowstone and all that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he ruins it.
Just
And
gets to his head.
it would be one thing if he was ruining it just for him and his career. But there's a lot of people that work on those shows. There's a lot of people that have their livelihood attached to it, their schedules attached to it. And
even fans who like the show too.
yeah. And mucks it up for everybody.
Oh, Kevin.
Doing it again.
Kevin.
Doing it again. Can't get out of his own way. Darn it, Kev. I call him Kev.
Yeah, you guys are close.
I have no idea to base this on, but things that you can't prove that are true.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that nobody gets to call him Kev.
No.
Nobody in his life gets to call him that.
No.
I would go out of my way to call him that. Hey, Kev.
Who's this guy?
I'd prefer if you didn't. Kev.
I don't care, Kev.
Yeah, Kev.
Loosen up, Kev.
You're a Kev to me. All right.
All right, so the roles we have to fill are Forrest Gump, played by the incredible Tom Hanks, Jenny, Robin Wright,
Oh, the wonderful
amazing
Robin Wright.
actress,
Yeah.
yes, Lieutenant Diane, Gary Sinise.
One of our boys, Gary Sinise.
Sinise, okay, thank you. And Mrs. Gump, Sally Field, my love.
Oh my God.
I would do anything for Sally Field. I would love to hug her so much. I'm just, obsessed.
Yeah, Sally Field could ask me to rob a bank, and I'd be like, "Which one?
Yeah.
Which one, Miss Field?
Tell me
Which
where
one?
to go.
Yeah.
Call her
I'm
mother.
so with you
She's
on this.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love her.
I want to send a shout out to Makai Williams as well, another Second City Steppenwolf actor like Gary Sinise, and another great actor too, who has. Along with Gary Sinise, just really memorable performances, even though they're not on screen a whole ton. You can't talk about that movie and not think about those actors and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard putting like how many.
Oh yeah.
members
I would have
on
put
there,
up the same
but
names too. Yeah.
But yeah, awesome cast.
Yeah,
All right.
it really is.
Speaking of cast,
Mm-hmm.
let's see which Muppet is going to be playing
Well,
Forrest Gump.
who's going to be playing Forrest?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be iconic.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
So we can imagine their little Muppet voice in like a Forrest accent.
Yes, I didn't even think of that. Oh, that's good. So who is it going to be? Ooh,
Who do we
Dr.
have?
Julius Strangeport.
Oh, interesting
Very
casting
interesting.
choice.
Very interesting.
Okay.
I don't know why Robert Zemeckis went that way, but okay. And
Okay,
I like
yeah.
the idea of the same director, even
I
if
like
it's for
that.
Muppets. I don't know why I did that. But...
I do like that. It's still their movie.
Oh, Dr. Julius.
Maybe a younger Dr. Julius?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. This is one of those ones where I wish we could throw it back. Like we get one mulligan, one mulligan a season, and we can throw it back and pull it back.
Do you want to?
I kind of do,
Okay.
only because
It's such a good movie.
it is such a good movie, and not to say that the next name we pull is going to be any better, but I almost feel like this one throws off the whole cast in my head. Maybe it's behind the scenes look a little bit. Everybody, I am looking to direct next year, and so I've been starting to approach things a little bit more directing wise. And that in my
practice.
yeah, and in my head, so much of one role can lead to how you cast others.
It does, yeah.
You've got a great female that you got a rom-com you're gonna do. You've got this female that she nailed this. It is her role, but she's 6 foot. and I can't have a 5'10" actor.
Sorry,
so I
Danny
need,
DeVito.
yeah. So all these actors that I did have in mind, they were really good, but I've got to go this direction and go kind of a taller actor.
Yeah.
And it really changes the casting.
Yeah.
With he really, for me, he really throws off the kind of the casting and stuff.
There's a role that's perfect for him, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. Is I almost feel like it shortens him a little bit too as a character.
Sure.
Okay,
well, this will be our
Is
Mulligan.
this our Mulligan?
Yeah,
okay,
this is
all right,
it.
everybody. Is that cool with you guys? You're good? We should, Sweetums,
Oh.
Snuffy, you guys good? Everybody's good with this, I guess.
Snuffy gave us 2 big blinks, which means go for it.
Yeah, those eyelashes.
Oh,
God, I love
stop.
those eyelashes. Perfect eyelashes, Snuffy. Okay, all right.
All
Well,
right, you
I was
go
just
for
joking,
it.
but if we're going to
No,
do it,
no,
okay.
yeah.
I am going to put him to the side for now. We'll throw him back in there, but all right, let's see here. Oh, I didn't do the claw. That's what I got the claw.
Maybe that's why it was claw.
That's what it was. Yeah, now I got the
Gotta
claw.
put the claw
yes.
in there.
Okay, so take 2. First time ever we've done that. That feels a little freeing almost.
I know, right?
Okay. Oh,
Is it worse?
it's so much better.
Okay.
Oh, it's so much better. I just want to hold this for a second.
Oh, what is it?
Gonzo.
Oh, wow. That is great.
And boy, that
Aw.
looks a little on the nose, me pulling Gonzo after
Yeah.
doing the Mulligan. But I did not, I could never know. I wouldn't have
We
known.
all saw it, or you guys heard it.
And I honestly think that there's so many roles I would have picked Gonzo for other than this.
Yeah.
So I never would have picked Gonzo for it, but it is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, a perfect
Oh,
grab.
perfect casting.
Absolutely.
Gonzo as Forrest Gump is just a movie
Aw,
I will see right
yes,
now.
I
I don't
love
even need to
that.
see who's
'Cause
directing
he
or any of
is
that.
the outsider.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
I love
Gonzo
that.
also would be very good with. I like Gonzo doing a different voice. I
Yeah,
like Gonzo with a
'cause-
different voice, kind of a little bit of a southern voice, a little
Yeah.
bit of a small one, but still Gonzo.
yeah, because he has not like a nasal, but a little
A
bit.
little bit, yeah,
So that would be very. If anybody can do a Gonzo impression and you can do it as Gonzo as Forrest Gump, we would love to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do it, take us another.
Because there is a little bit of that, but you still have to be southern a little bit too, with the
Yeah.
nasal, and it's very difficult to do.
That would be really hard. That'd
Yeah.
be like the impressionist challenge. or
Absolutely.
something. Yeah.
I will say, Gonzo, talented. He's talented.
Oh,
He can
yeah.
do it. Gonzo can pull it off.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really liked. One of the reasons I really liked Muppets from Space was we got to see more of an emotional side from Gonzo. That sounded really ridiculous.
But you're right. We
Yeah,
did.
you did.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll do good in this role.
Yeah. He's gonna nail it. He could be another Oscar winner from this. He could win an Oscar for this one.
Well, and he's usually really silly, kind of like Tom Hanks before
Exactly.
he did this.
Yes.
So maybe this is his trajectory.
It was
There you go.
it was something that I was thinking as I'm looking at that name. I'm like, yeah, that really fits for
This
a
is
number. Even fits like I if we were gonna do if there was a biography on Tom Hanks done by Muppets, I could see Gonzo being that Muppet. I could see.
Absolutely. Oh, just imagining him in all the different like forest eras and the costumes and stuff. Oh, this is wonderful.
I really like this one.
I
This
do
is good.
too.
This is
Yeah.
good.
Let's get our casting
Yeah,
sheets and cast the rest of the crew.
So
Start
we
with
will call
Jenny.
in these Muppets, and yes, and we will
Yes.
have them audition as we go. So for Jenny, yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, you almost want to go Janice because of
Yeah.
the blonde hair and kind of the hippie free spirit and everything. But I think we'd have to pull it from a different angle with Janice. So
Yeah.
she would have to be willing to method act herself.
Yeah.
Because I think if we could get her out of like her usual tone of voice and everything, that she'd make a good Jenny.
There's some that movie really holds up overall, but there are a couple of things that aged differently because of the time it came out, it was written, and the times that we are in now, and I think that character is probably the center point of that. Those things that might have aged not as well as they could have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say poorly because I don't think it's that. I don't know if it's that harsh,
Yeah.
but I think that character is part of it, and part of that character and what Robin does so well in that performance is Jenny's a bit serious.
Yeah.
Which is very opposite of Janice
It
and,
is,
and
yeah.
her voice and her tone
Exactly,
and her character
yeah.
and stuff. So the look is there.
Right, exactly.
We would have to really work with Janice
Have
as
to train her.
directors and really
Yeah.
train her and stuff. if we were going to go a different route,
Yes.
I do like Camilla in a little bit of that role. But again, the seriousness of it and everything, I
Yeah.
would want somebody that actually we can understand.
Right. Yeah.
And with that makes it a little more difficult to cast, I think. And again, I keep coming back to this. There's just not a lot of female Muppets.
Yeah, there's not, and that's really a shame.
Yeah. I never would want to critique that world or anything like that. But if I did have one, I think that would be one of the only critiques I would have is we could have used more female Muppets.
Definitely.
But as it is.
Yeah, the ones that we do have are very, very strong and do break from the mold of like, what girls are.
Certainly there was always, I've never thought of Miss Piggy as as a soft female character or anything like that, so
No, brass cow.
there's definitely something to be said for that. And
yeah.
it would almost be perfect if we could take Janice's appearance with Miss Piggy's attitude and some of that. And,
well, maybe Miss Piggy could help.
yeah, maybe we have Miss Piggy be the acting coach for Janice, and we just cast Janice. I think that works.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll work with. It's not as if we haven't had to work with some of these Muppets before and some of these other roles and everything. So I think we can work with Janice.
Her. We can make it work.
So Janice as Jenny, I think it works. That fits.
Yeah. So next we have Lieutenant Dan.
Ah, the great Gary Sinise. One of the better actors any of us will ever see.
Yeah. I was like Crazy Harry.
I do like that. I like Crazy Harry there. That's good. I was gonna go Sam Eagle. I think Crazy Harry is a little bit maybe better. I kind of like that one.
Sam would be good as like a leader, a lieutenant, and everything. I guess Crazy Harry has more of like the look, at least like the raggedy look.
Maybe mixing the worlds a little bit. What about Floyd? What about Floyd Pepper?
Oh my gosh, he's right next to it. I like that way better.
He has the look and he has a bit of that attitude. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
I
really
like Floyd
that.
there.
And then they get to work in a movie together. Oh, that's cute.
yeah, that is cool. Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Okay, I really like that. Perfect. Okay, I have a few different ideas for Mrs. Gump, our last.
Yeah.
So I do think that Miss Piggy could play a good mom, Sally Field, because she is like a go-getter mom. Like she's got to do what she's got to do at the beginning, and then at the end I could see Miss Piggy with like the little glasses and all of that, and we'll put like a gray wig on her, even though she probably won't like that. On the other hand, I do think Walter could make a good Mrs. Gump too if we put him in a wig.
I really like that. I like the idea, and I know this is gonna, we have a lot of movies. There's only so many Muppets. We're gonna double cast sometimes. Yeah. But I love, I don't know if it was intentional on your part or not, but it feels like both of us organically have been trying to cast as many different Muppets as we can for these movies. So I already like what we're doing there with that.
Yeah.
And with that, I like Walter a little bit better in that spot. I keep thinking of Miss Piggy as Darth Vader. I'm still stuck on that from like 2 episodes ago. I feel like, we already cast her. We can obviously recast these Muppets, but I like the idea of expanding it, and I like Walter in part because I almost thought of being Bunny as that in that role. Yeah. I think Walter's a little bit older and a little bit fits it better.
Yeah, a little more humanoid.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Walter, I like it.
Getting his chance.
I like this cast.
I do too. Yeah, this is great.
I will just throw out there. I do think for the character I was mentioning that Mekhi Williams plays. Can't think of his character's name right now. It's just struck at me. But when you got this kind of shrimp, you got a bubble shrimp. You got Bubba. It is Bubba. I thought like, oh no, it can't be Bubba. It is Bubba. You're right. You got a whole franchise about it and everything. But I like Bobo the bear in that role. I just like that.
Absolutely.
I kind of like Bobo in there as that.
You are in your director era. That's a really good casting choice. I like that a lot.
I like this movie.
I do too.
This is a good one. This is going to do well, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
And oh man, just having having Gonzo in that, I really can't get past it. I'm even picturing the movie poster.
Yeah, on the bench.
And Gonzo in that bench and everything.
In the white suit. Oh my
with the side profile, so you've got the nose there and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's so
it really
perfect.
fits. It really does.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Before this, I would have probably went, oh, Kermit would make a perfect Forrest. And I still think that he probably would.
Yeah.
But I like what Gonzo brings to it. I like what Gonzo could do.
Yeah, I think I might like Gonzo a little more than Kermit in that role, because like I said before, Forrest is kind of an outsider, black sheep, and that's Gonzo's thing.
Yeah. It's
Gonzo
really a big part of what Gonzo's purpose is in Muppets and everything about it. So, yeah. This just fits.
It. Yes.
Nice work. That was great. That was awesome. That felt good.
Mulligan, well done.
Yeah. Paid off. Paid off.
Yes, it did. Well, now we can put Gonzo in some scenarios.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's fun.
Can't wait. I always look away, like that's going to really do anything. Like I don't know why I do that, but
I do that
2
too.
years we've been doing, or 2 seasons now, and I'm still doing it.
Oh, before
do you do it too?
I
do.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's
Even
awesome.
when I'm pulling out of the hat, I'm like looking away.
Oh, I love you. That's awesome.
Before we move into scenarios, is there a line or a part in Forrest Gump that you really like that stands out to you?
Wow. Good question.
It's such a quotable movie.
It is, and I, all of them are great, and they all stand up. They all still have aged well and everything. When Jenny passes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm very hormonal right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. The way that you see so much a character that throughout the whole movie, part of the character is
such a
his stiffness and his unshowing of emotions in
Forrest.
many ways.
Jenny is
Sorry,
a complicated
Forrest.
character.
And that well, first off, that last scene with those two is incredibly acted, incredibly done. Now I'm getting emotional thinking about it. But the way that he handles that character afterwards is incredible to me.
Yeah,
just thinking about it.
Haley Joel Osment when he was a little kid.
Yeah. It's really just so well done. And so I can't think of it necessarily. There is a line that, because I think that after he tells that part, because of the flashback part of this, and you're back to being on the bench with him and the lady, or who he's talking to at that time.
Yeah.
His timing with those lines, the lines are really good, but it's the delivery, and you can see that.
Yes.
If any other human being would be crying or any of these things and stuff, but because it's Forrest and he can't do that stuff, he is internally. And Tom Hanks does such an amazing job pulling that off.
Yeah.
Like, just, it's incredibly well acted. So there's a couple lines there that I can't necessarily remember, but those are the lines for me in that whole movie that really stand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about for you? Especially, this one's a little more... Like, I haven't seen it in ages. Even though you probably haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
You watched it a little more on repeat than I did. Are there multiple lines? Are there multiple scenes?
I think the scene that first stood out to me when we pulled it out, ironically, is very close to the part that you're talking about. Is when Jenny introduces Forrest to the little Forrest for the first time.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That part always got me so much. And then I think just seeing little Forrest growing up, and I think one of my favorite parts is when he's done with his run when he's older. He's like, oh, I'm really tired. I think I'll go home now.
It's so good.
Yeah, it just kind of speaks to the simplicity of how he sees the world and everything, and when he's talking to Jenny about all the things he's seen and where he couldn't tell where the sky started and where it stopped and all that. Just a beautifully woven movie.
The character, and I need to, maybe I should watch it more often, because I came out of that movie and I am way too serious of a person, and I look at the layers of things and the depth of everything, and I can never explain anything, including what I'm saying right now. I can never do anything, and it just can't be just a thing. Yeah. It's always got to have a deeper meaning and all of this. And,
I feel that.
I came out of it being like, well, I really need to look for the simple in life a little bit. I need to break things down and just look at things a little more simple in life. And there's a beauty to that. Yeah. And maybe we can't do it with everything, but more times we can in life. I think the more fun and the more that maybe we get the true element of what is happening here in this moment or whatever. It's a good life lesson.
Yeah.
It's funny that we both pulled from the end of the movie when there's so much of the movie that is quoted and brought back in pop culture that is the chocolates and some of that. That's interesting where we both went with that.
Yeah, very interesting. Great movie.
Please feel free in the comments to leave us your favorite moments or lines from the movie. I'd love to see more of that, and we love interacting with you guys.
Yeah,
that way.
and what your casting would be.
Absolutely,
for the movie
got to
too.
start casting these movies, you guys.
Yeah, we would really love to see it. So, the scenario Gonzo was in, if this Muppet was having a yard sale, would it be organized and fairly priced? And what is the craziest thing that they have for sale? I remember this from last season, and Rizzo was the one with the garage sales.
How funny is that?
That is really funny.
That is too good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
It would have a very odd mix, I think, of mundane items that hold sentimental value and like really weird stuff he picked up at like a swap meet or something when he was traveling or whatever. But I think it would be fairly priced though. I don't know if it'd be super organized, but I don't think he would go super crazy with the prices.
I don't want to go throwing around my garage and rummage and yard sale, receipts or affidavits here or anything. But your great grandma, my nana, could smell a garage sale from 2 states away.
Yeah.
I grew up with this. I watched the woman work quite a bit. Okay, yeah, that's
With
right.
my
Your mom,
yeah.
your mom is real big. She was always that way. Yeah. So with that, with our added knowledge going into this, I will tell you that if you're driving around and you see a Gonzo yard sale, feel free to stop. I don't think you're going to be able to leave with. I don't think you're going to leave with anything.
Yeah.
I think for one, there's going to be like a table that's all set up and ready to go, and then there's another table that's kind of half set up. But Gonzo's rushing around and trying to get things up there, and I feel like he's the clerk. You're going to him to buy these things. As you bring that item up there, he's like, "Oh, I can't part with that.
Right,
oh, I can't part with this." I don't know if he's actually going to sell anything.
There's like a tarp on the lawn that has stuff placed on it too, haphazardly.
I really don't. I really could see Gonzo being one of those. I can remember this
like
growing
a
up,
pack rat.
and there were times where Nana would bring an item up or something, or my Aunt Nay would, or something like that, and the lady would be like, "This wasn't supposed to be for sale. Harold, who put this out there?" Or something like that. And they're yelling back and forth and everything. What? That's old. And no, I wasn't going to sell this. And I feel like that's Gonzo and Camilla. I feel like that's a lot of like, Camilla, I didn't put this up. I really feel like it'd be one of those things.
Absolutely, yeah, I can see that.
Oddest item out there, I feel like an old cannonball or like an actual
right, a stunt prop or something. I feel like maybe he's got he's like has like snappy suits sometimes that he wears. Maybe there's like outfits that are on the hanger that are just like super starched because he hasn't worn them in forever. Maybe there's a couple of those he hasn't pulled out. They're a little dusty.
I feel like Camilla's got some stuff in there too.
Oh yeah.
And everything. I don't know that that's canon anymore, that those two are a couple or anything. They seem to have gotten away from that a little bit. But in our universe here, well, it's kind of canon, I think. And so I'm thinking of those two together.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Gonzo having I'm gonna have a yard sale. And other Muppets being like, "Hey, I got this thing," and like just kind of jumping in on it, and making it their own thing too, and stuff. And Gonzo being Gonzo, not really, pushing them away.
Okay. Yeah, Sweetums comes with like a wheelbarrow of stuff.
I would love to go to a Gonzo yard sale though. Man, that would be a blast.
The oddities you would find.
I go broke. I would go broke. That's a good one.
Yeah, I liked that. That was fun.
Alrighty. No, wait, not yet. Sorry. Force a hat. What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna put Gonzo in next? Our last hat.
This has been fun. This has been a really good one.
I don't even know how long this episode has been so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this has been a while. I think this has been a longer one. I hope you guys took a nap. We should have had an intermission in there.
Right.
I'm talking about people not going to see 3-hour movies. Don't. Would you rather let this Muppet redecorate your house or give you a complete makeover?
Huh.
Wow.
Either way, you're getting a little eccentric boost.
You are definitely going to have, now, this one is actually kind of easy for me, even though I
Yeah.
would definitely let Gonzo do either one, and it would be, speaking of canon, I would keep it that way, whatever he did. If he rearranged my house or my apartment or something, I would keep it that way no matter what.
Yeah.
Because Gonzo did it. and
Yeah.
I get, anytime anybody says anything, like, well, Gonzo did that. Like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Everything
It's
would
all coming
become
together
clearer
now.
as you
Yeah.
Why do you have pictures of eggs? Why do you have... but I would love Gonzo to do my makeover.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'd be open for anybody to like do a makeover for me. I could use it. Any of that. Yeah, I could probably use a makeover by anybody, let alone Gonzo. I like the idea of dressing like Gonzo too.
Oh
the,
yeah.
The
I
weird.
love his outfits.
The
patterns.
Yeah,
patterns.
and wear the tie that doesn't match for some reason, and the blazer and all that. I
like
can see that.
Yeah, I like the eccentric touch.
I kind of want to dress up now as Gonzo for Halloween.
Ooh, you should.
Yeah, that kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that.
You should do it.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. I think. I don't know. It's hard because I like the way that I decorate our house. So maybe not. And right now I'm in like a weird place with clothes because my size is changing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I like live in these stretchy pants right now because I'm not like at the point where I can wear my maternity pants. So it's a weird in between. So maybe I would just go wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
I like your style, and I like the way that you carry yourself and all that. You have a lot of your mother in you in that way.
Oh,
That's a check mark for her. She always had style, and I always liked her approach, the way she carries herself and everything. I do think so. I'm saying all of this to say. I do think that you and Gonzo could find some connections. I do think that you guys both go to a thrift store together and you're going to find stuff that like, I like that. I'll wear that kind of thing.
I think we'd collaborate well.
You'd be okay. Not saying it's completely parallel, but you could have a little bit more of
an eclectic, comfy style.
I think you could find a good matching there.
Yeah, totally.
I think you guys would be a good fit, and I think Gonzo is a perfect fit for this.
Yes,
this worked
that
out
was
good.
really fun. Good call on the Mulligan.
It worked out. It worked
did,
out, thankfully. And I hope you all were okay with that.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in every week. You guys are the best, and we appreciate it so much.
Wouldn't be the same without you,
No.
and we greatly appreciate all of our new listeners. And it just feels like every time I pull this up and look at it, not only are there more streams, but there are more subscribers, and we can't thank you enough. We are so humbled by this, and we greatly appreciate you helping us find the Rainbow Connection.
Yes, you guys are the best, and we'll catch you next episode.
See you soon, everybody.
Bye.